Welcome to More Yoga Fitness. My name is Kathy. Today we will be doing a yoga practice utilizing a yoga block, a great tool in your yoga practice. Let's go ahead and make our way onto our seats and provide support for our tailbone by coming into Supta Baddha Konasana, reclined butterfly, supported by our block. Slowly slide your feet away from your body. We're going to come into half happy baby pose. Peace fingers to big toe on the left. Opening up your leg at a 90 degree. Go ahead and release the left and perform that same pose on the right side. Releasing your right. Drawing your legs so that your heels are directly above your hips. Coming into legs up the wall, Viparita Karani. Keeping the toes flexed toward your face. Finding a variation here, dropping the right leg so it hovers just above the earth. Left leg remains toward the sky. Go ahead and switch. And bring both feet to the sky and we'll release. Bringing the feet flat to the floor, lift your hips up into bridge pose. Remove your block, place it between your hands, press your palms with purpose on the outsides of your block, and hold it at your chest. Draw the block overhead. Continue pressing into the block, engaging your shoulders. Draw the block back to your chest, keeping your hip points lifted toward the sky. Exhale as you drop the hips down. Drawing the block overhead, your legs are long. Inhale as you reach the block to the sky, straight spine. Exhale, fold forward, reaching the block for your toes. Caterpillar pose. Inhale, reaching up to the sky and bringing the block down. We're rearranging so that our legs are in dragonfly. Focusing on our inner thigh, we're going to place the block to the outside of our left leg on one of the several heights. Placing your forearm on the block, we're taking a lateral bend here. Draw your elbow to the sky, bicep to the ear. Breathe in as you come back to center and release. Placing the block on side B, forearm grounds into the block and laterally bend, drawing rib to hip on the right and really opening up that left side body. Allow a breath in and release. Take taking your block and placing it in front of you. We're going to use our block to encourage more of an opening in our shoulders as we forward fold in our dragonfly legs, dropping the chest closer to the earth with every breath. My block is placed under the palms of my hands, and I'm slowly lowering my chest toward the earth. Slowly make your way to a straight spine. And we're going to make our way into a tabletop position, placing the block underneath just the right hand, coming into a plank. Opening up in our side plank, taking the block with us to the sky. Finding movement with our breath, bringing the block overhead, gazing at the floor. Inhale to the sky. Exhale, block to the hip. Inhale, sky. To the front as we pivot. Inhale, sky, side plank. Exhale, hip. Inhale, sky. One more time, overhead. Sky. Hip. Sky. And bring the block back down to the earth. Return to plank. Set the block aside and press back, downward facing dog. Come forward into your plank, and I'm placing the block underneath my left hand, finding plank. Core is engaged. Turning out into my side plank, taking the block with me up toward the sky. Pivoting into plank, reaching the block overhead, to the sky, side plank, hip, to the sky, overhead, sky, hip, sky. Last time, overhead, inhale up, exhale hip, inhale up, and bring your block back to the mat with your hand placed on the block plank. Set the block aside, press back, downward facing dog. Slowly walk your feet up toward your hands. Separate your feet 2 fist widths apart. Grab your block and bow forward. And just placing your hand on the block gives you that extra grounding. Perhaps you'll get a deeper fold. Chest draws toward the thighs. Crown of the head dangling. Lift the toes up toward the face as you reach up and gaze up, block to the sky. Exhale, fold forward, ground the block, chest to thighs. Lift the toes to the face, flat feet. Breathe in, block overhead, gaze up, fold forward. Inhale, toes to the face, flat feet. Breathe in, block to the sky, fold back forward. Inhale, toes to the feet, flat feet. Breathe in here and flat back. Press long arms, palms into the block. Really focus on your sitting bones pressing back on an imaginary wall behind you. Inhale as you bring the block overhead, gaze up, and bring your block back down. We're going to take our block and place again between our palms, the entire time pressing our palms actively into either side of the block. Step back with your right and come into Warrior One, using your block to engage your shoulders. Gaze up, lift your heart and your chest, open your neck. Front knee is bent at 90. Bow forward, hover your chest over your front thigh. Power warrior, pressing the block the entire time. Inhale, lift up into your warrior one. Exhale, turn out into warrior two. Firmly pressing the block, we'll move with our breath. Reverse your warrior. Exhale, side angle. Breathe in, reverse. Exhale, side angle. Breath in, reverse. Side angle. This time, release the block down toward your foot as you come into reverse. Cartwheel the hands down to the mat. Set your block aside. Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Step up to the top of your mat. Grab your block. Inhale, overhead, pressing the palms firmly into the block. Step back with your left. Warrior one. Bow forward, power warrior. Breathe in, warrior one. Exhale, warrior two pose. Keeping the block firmly pressed, moving with your breath. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, side angle. Breathe in, reverse warrior. Side angle. Breath in, reverse. Exhale, side angle. Release the block toward your foot. Reverse your warrior. As you exhale, cartwheel your hands to the mat. Set your block aside. Chaturanga. Breathe in, lift your heart up, dog. Breathe out, lift your tail, downward facing dog. Placing the block in the center of your hands. Step up with your right foot and place it on top of the block. As you breathe in, reach up and gaze up in your warrior one. Just a little more intense on the block. Placing your hand on the top of your thigh and bending and straightening your right leg. Making note of your inner thigh on your left, lowering that inner thigh closer to the mat with each bend in your right knee. Keeping your front leg straight, sliding your hands down the right leg, coming into pyramid pose. Placing your hand on the inside of your right foot, reverse triangle. If you need to use your block to support your hand on the earth, go ahead and do so. It'll lessen the intensity a bit. Hand returns to the mat, big bend in your front knee, press back, downward facing dog. You're welcome to pedal out your dog a bit as you shift your hips side to side. Step forward with your left foot. Rise off the mat into your warrior one. Gently resting your hands on your front thigh, straightening that left leg and bending into the left knee, making sure your knee tracks between your pinky toe and your big toe. Inner thigh on the right lowers closer to the mat with each repetition. Remaining here with your legs straight, sliding your hands down your left leg, connecting chest to thigh in your pyramid. Placing and grounding the right hand either to the earth or your block, turning out into your revolved triangle. Coming back to the mat and downward facing dog. Pedaling out your dog. Right leg lifts. Step the right foot to the outside of your right hand. We're coming into a modified lizard here. Using our block, place your forearms on the block. Allow your neck to release, crown of the head toward the earth. Focus in on your left hip point. Try lowering it down closer to the mat. Drop the left knee gently down to the mat. Take your block and place it to the inside of your left foot, reaching the left arm back and opening up the chest into a half camel. Notice how I'm stacking my wrist below my shoulder on the right. Releasing, bringing the block back to the front of your mat and press back into downward facing dog. Step forward with the left and come into that modification of your lizard pose. Your focus is your hips. Lowering that right hip point toward the mat will increase the intensity. Gently drop your right knee to the mat. As you grab your block and place it to the inside of your right foot, left hand grounds on your block, right hand reaches back. Lift your heart and your chest, half camel. Return back to the top of your mat, bring your block with you, and we'll press back into your downward facing dog. Walking forward toward the top of your mat, we're going to come into Malasana, our Hindu squat, but using our block in one of the three heights to ground our sitting bones. I want you to focus here on your breath and nothing else. From here, I'm going to extend my right leg long. Sliding my hand down the right leg toward my ankle and taking my left arm and reaching it at a diagonal, drawing my ear to my bicep. Keeping the toes pointed toward the sky on that right foot. Return to center and we'll switch. Left leg extends, right leg remains in Hindu squat. Lateral bend, ear to the bicep. Return back to center. Let's go ahead and remove our block from underneath our seat. And we're going to take a modification of crow pose here, starting on top of the block. This is a great introduction for those who are apprehensive about crow. If you start with your toes up on the block, place your knees just above your elbows, and when you're ready, release one toe or both toes from the block. Another option here is instead of having the block under your feet, you can place that block under your third eye, using the block for another connection to the mat. Of course, you can lift your head up off the block when you feel ready. And we'll release back down to the mat. Taking our block and placing it underneath the right foot. We're coming into Cobbler's pose in a modified version. Our feet are staggered and our right foot is lifted. Breathe in as you lift your rib cage. Exhale as you fold, drawing your face to your right foot. Adds just a little bit different intensity in this hip opening stretch. Breathe in as you reach up. Exhale as you twist. I'm drawing my left hand to the outside of my right knee and gazing back. Allow a breath in as you reach up. And release your hands to your sides, readjusting the legs for that staggered cobbler's pose, placing the left foot on top of the block. Breathe in as you lift up, exhale as you fold. Breathe in, reach up and gaze up. Exhale as you twist. Pressing gently your palm to the outside of your opposite thigh. Breathe in, reach overhead. Draw your hands to heart center. And we'll release our foot from the block. Let's take the block and place it underneath our tail, bringing the soles of the feet together, coming into a full cobbler's pose. A little more intense up on the block, allowing gravity to do most of the work in opening up your inner thigh and hips. Start with our hands at heart center in prayer pose. Inhale, draw your thumb knuckles to your third eye. As you exhale, bow forward. Namaste. The divine light in me honors and respects the divine light in you.